grade series winner.
Yeah.
Tactics for the last 2 weeks.
Well, I'm in B grade today, so I guess the goal is just to finish. But I don't know, there's not really much for me to do now. I guess just try and make the most of being in B grade and see if I can hang on to the stronger guys.
All right, well, good luck tonight.
So.
Do you feel disrespected that everyone talks about Benny Coates being the B grade series kind of strongest rider? You're wearing the jersey.
I think there should be a new podcast next year, that's for sure. But no, I don't know. It's really nice.
Well, good luck tonight.
Underway, C grade to the line. You are starting at 30 seconds tonight. Get ready to unleash hell. There's Michael Cupid, swings over. Here comes Willie Edwin Prince. Edwin, the big riders are still infiltrated up the front there. What a rock. Then it's back to Willie. Where's Nicolo? Where's Nicolo? Where's Nicolo? Nicole Wilson. I didn't see Nicole.
And welcome to the second last podcast for 2024. Unbelievably, the season has gone past so quickly. We see series leaders being decided, right? But there's still this week to review, and of course, next week's grand finale of racing. And with that, we are joined by the voice, Mr. Paul Craft. Good afternoon, Paul.
Yeah,
and the man who I'm hoping will certainly be racing in that final round, Mr. John Sunde. Good afternoon, evening, John.
Yeah, I could go for the Rider of the Week award, couldn't I?
I think wouldn't that be a turn up for the books?
Yes, that's right. As if I need a chicken burger.
I don't think you need any more fatty chicken, mate.
What are you saying?
You've done enough. You've done well.
What are you saying,
that'll do, Pig. That'll do, Pig.
Now, this week saw the return of the maestro, Colin Imunger, again doing his best to ensure.
No.
There was no Colin.
No,
that's right. There wasn't. God, time was just. No wonder A grade caught with 3, 4, 5 to go.
No, it wasn't. It was Dan, the stopwatch man.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how he got the stopwatch because he'll never be getting that back.
Handicaps weren't too bad. C grade were given a chance to win it. They started 30 seconds behind. A grade started essentially when the first rider got pretty darn close to the straight, which means that if B grade rider perfect race, they could have won it. Didn't turn out that way with the crosswinds very strong, John.
Yeah, the winds were much fresher, weren't they, this week than the previous week? And in the beginning of the race, I was over by the toilet block doing some marshalling because we got kids with football practice over there. And I was watching the riders come around that right-hander into the toilet block straight, thinking, surely with the fresher wind this week, they know the wind is going to be on the right shoulder. No. C grade over to the left-hand gutter. And I'm thinking, yeah, well, that's why you're going to get caught, guys.
Yeah, they didn't ride too well, C grade. John, I'm picking up on something.
Harsh comment.
Interesting statement. But B grade, when you came back from the toilet block, John, you were scathing about the handicaps. You were saying, how's A grade going to catch? How are they going to get up? You've given them too hard, and yeah, they did.
They did. They rode really, really well. So once again, A grade, not the biggest bunch, not as small as the previous week. A couple of big hitters who were back in the fold. Kurt Eather for one. He brought along his one of his teammates, Tom Lynch, and then we had all the usual suspects. Unfortunately, we didn't have Brad Mills this week because he was on the sick list. But all the other guys were there, and it just goes to prove, like it did the previous week, that a smaller, more cohesive bunch can ride faster.
I think, and the wind certainly aided A grade because they ride better in the wind. Alexis, you said it was harsh about C grade. You thought C grade rode well, did you?
I did. I thought they were going really well. I thought, particularly early on, I thought, and with 5 or 6 to go, I actually think I said to someone in the bunch, I said, I actually think C grade could win this. Of course, 2 laps later we got caught, but I thought they were going full gas pretty much from the start. There was a fair few of them rolling along, and then if you look at the results that are up, I mean, you see 26 of 13, so we lost half the field. So that kind of says to you,
is it a windy night?
And what about B grade? Only 10
decimated.
Decimated.
And when I did the results here yesterday, what occurred to me, I think this is the first time ever that A grade have finished up with more finishes than either of the other 2 grades, because normally B and C have 25, 30 riders in them. Well, they did, 25 and 26, but both of them lost half their starters, didn't they?
I can explain why B grade lost so many. It's the way everything came together. A grade, there was a 3-man breakaway from B grade, which tagged C grade, and just at the same time, A grade were coming through. So A grade got through B grade, the main bunch, and then they streamlined it through C grade. That put the majority of the B graders at the back of the C
grade group, and got caught behind.
Right? And A grade are at the front drilling it. And this was at 5 laps to go, yeah? Yeah, and a little bit later, sorry, it was at 3 and a bit laps, nearly 4 laps to go. So the B graders that were at the back got absolutely caned. They got caught on C grade wheels, and when a B grader gets caught on a C grade wheels, they say, "Oh, I'm out. I'm finished. I'm not going to win it. I'm sitting up." So that's why I reckon there was such a high attrition rate. Only total of 33 finishes. That's a great night.
Yeah, it is. Results were easy to do. And what's more interesting in that, Crafty, 33 finishes, but effectively you look at the finish line video, there's really only the top 15. 15 riders were in what I would call the front group. You had the three sprinters. Then you had another bunch of about 5 to 8 riders, mixture of B and A graders, and then you had another half a dozen riders who, including the Morgs. No, Morgs was in the second group.
Morgs was in the second group with Nicolo. He outsprinted her. Now, on that,
they were all together though. Coming into the last lap, they were all together, and then it was only around the back where the wind was actually quite harsh, where that split has happened. And then, of course, once that split happens on the final lap,
forget it.
It just absolutely balloons out. And by the time the pimple they were basically onto the straight. They were coming over the pimple, the second group.
Have we disclosed who won it yet? Have we said the result?
We're keeping it a secret. But why don't you reveal it?
Are we? Sorry. Okay. Who won it?
We'll give that to Kurt Eather this week.
Alexis, your face was like, holy shit, I can't remember.
Well, I did the stupidest thing. I was actually trying to get a video up high for the podcast. And so I was filming the finish. And then for some reason, I've slowly moved my camera as they've sprinted past. And all I get is the road, because they were going past at 60k an hour. So I actually had no idea who'd won the race. Amateur stuff.
Well, can I tell you, it was Kurt Eather in front of Jack Bennett, and a real throw for the line by Jack Bennett over Tom Bolton. And that kind of was the sprint to decide the series, John.
Yeah, it was, because those points were critical. And just pointing out that those 3 main sprinters, they were head and shoulders above everybody else. You had a bit of a gap back to 4th place. Martin Capra, he did really well.
Congratulations.
Yeah, first time he's been in the top 5. Well done, Marty. And Cam Fraser again, just in the mix in that top 5. So that's like the second or third week in a row. But yeah, I thought the 3 sprinters were head and shoulders above everybody. And so the places they were aiming to get were the ones that now set up the big showdown for next week.
Is
before
Kurt
we
Eather there
start-
next week?
I
Probably.
assume so. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a question because I don't know who it is. There was one rider, they were wearing black, they had a white helmet. That's all I know. They led out of the Squircle on the last lap. They only had about 20 or 30 metres in the back part of the Squircle. They opened it up to about 50 metres
That was Martin.
and got caught on the second pimple, maybe. You can see from Edwin Britz's video when Michael Cupid is driving at the front.
Yeah.
You can just see him in the distance.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Martin.
Get start.
Yeah.
You serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
So
That's pretty
he
impressive.
was away in the Squircle, got caught on the pimple, somehow got a wheel and sprinted for fourth. Are you 100% on that?
100% sure, because there's no one else in a white jersey and a black helmet.
No,
a black
black
top
jersey.
Yeah.
White helmet.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, the only
You're
other
not got colour dyslexia.
No. My eyes are good, Crafty. It doesn't look like it, but they are sharp as anything, like eagle's eyes.
Wow. Okay. You've stunned me. You have stunned me with that because that's impressive.
Yeah, you'll see it, and like you said, you'll see it in Edwin's video.
You've got Edwin Brits or Ben Simpson's video.
Chris Simpson.
It's Ben Simpson.
Simpson, you'll remember that name. Talk about giving the man some disrespect. I mean, first of all, we say he can't win B grade. That belongs to Benny Coates. Now you're calling him Ben Simpson.
No, I'm growing as a person. I used to call him Benny Glastonbury. I'm getting there, eh?
Perhaps you guys can explain to me Jason Morgan. Where'd he come from on Tuesday
Morgs,
night?
what a great result. Way to go, Morgs. And I might point out quite a few comments on the Tuesday night Heffron Facebook page. Well done, Morgs. None other, the first one coming from our very own 84 Olympian, Kevy Nichols. So if you thought Kevy Nichols had, I don't know, just gone away to wherever ex-riders go, he hasn't. He knows what's going on.
Now, obviously, going back to the generations who fly kites, because obviously the younger generation, we don't fly kites, and we don't know who Morgan is either. So has he been around? Has he got a background?
Jace has been riding at Heffron for a number of years now. He just comes down from the Shire. Very quietly, goes about his business. Doesn't do a lot in C grade, but in fact, he's only gone to C grade. Yeah, it was B grade up until last year, and he had a bad fall, bit of an injury. And to his credit, he stuck at it, came back, and has been just moving around, feeling comfortable in C grade. But Morgs' greatest claim to fame, I guess, is head of technical warranties at Shimano.
And his best mate's Matt Bazzano. And anyone who's friends with Matt Bazzano, we love you, Morgs. Now, John, you said Kevin Nichols, Olympian. You've got to show a little bit of respect. Olympic champion, Kevin Nichols. Gold medalist,
yes,
1984.
Yeah, 84 Los Angeles.
Smashing the Americans like guitars.
That's right. 3 of them did anyway.
So getting back to the racing that actually happened on Tuesday night in B grade, we had the Centennial Park Audi Centre Sydney, which is the CPACS Racing guys. We'll be showing some of their video during this podcast. But if you watch the video, you see Andrew Jacobs from CPACS Racing. He almost does a whole lap on the front to bring C to B. So it's one of those ones where you're watching it and you're like, he's still on the front. He's still on the front. Like, that was a monster turn. It's basically do a whole lap.
Yeah, this was with 2 to go. Did you see at the beginning of the video when they came down the straight who was actually on the front?
Perhaps you can tell us.
Birthday boy Greg Rule, 39 seasons racing in Heffron in B grade. And I'm looking at that first, just as the video started, they're coming down the straight. And I can see the 3 Centennial Park riders. And I think, who's on the front? Who's on the front? Who's that? And, of course, it's Rawley. So, good on you, Rawley.
I mean, that is a monster turn
I want to correct you on a couple of things, and I'm also going to spoiler alert.
Yeah.
We have to pick rider of the week. I'd already selected mine, and you've just named him. Andrew Jacobs is who and you guys hadn't thought of him as a rider of the week, but there's my spoiler. It was. The video starts at 5 laps to go, right? At 5 to go, they come flying up, and the group of B graders are all together. Booyah! Andrew Jacobs goes, and Chris Simpson latches onto his wheel. 3 of them get away. 3 of them. They open up a gap over B grade. B grade never caught C grade. Only those 3 riders caught and tagged C grade.
Right, because we're seeing it from the view of Simpson. We almost need a rear view showing that the gap has been created. So 3 of them got away. Right. And apologies to the third rider who was with that Andrew Jacobs and Chris Simpson, because it certainly wasn't. You reckon it was Tom Hyde?
Yeah, it was only 3 of them. There was only 3 of them.
Okay, CPACS Racing on fire.
No.
Well, I don't know if it was. You can't see if it was another Centennial rider. I don't recall.
It is. It's Tom Hyde.
Those 3. Yeah, I believe you. I trust you. Right? I never doubted you, John. You had me at hello. Now, those 3 touch the tail of C grade, and they think, we've got him. Let's go. And Andrew Jacobs starts to ride through them. Next thing you know, A grade are right there. So A grade, in the meantime, had passed the B graders, got to the front of the B graders, then caught the breakaway, which is now part of C grade. That's the dynamic I was talking about.
Yes,
why so many B graders got in trouble. So it's pretty much from 5 to go, the attack goes, and the 3 of them stay away for that whole lap and get it. Right.
Well, I'm glad you explained that, because I was actually thinking, was that why B grade didn't win? Because they've left one guy on the front for a whole basically lap at a crucial moment. Why aren't you rolling turns? Reality is actually they're in break. There's 3 of them up the road. It's like me towing John Sunde around. He's never going to come around me. He'll just sit there and follow the wheel.
So the reason I know it happened was because I saw the 3 go away. I saw the real gap, and I went, it's actually a decent move. It's a good move, because if they got to see, they get that recovery and go. And as it turned out, it was a fantastic move for Chris Simpson, because of position. Absolutely. It got him in the right spot.
Yeah, put him in the box seat, because once you're in that sort of top 5 or 8 riders in the train on the last lap, and you're surrounded by A graders that are just driving it for all they're worth, ain't no one who's behind you is going to catch you and come past you.
And that's why at the start of the race, I asked him, I said, do you feel a bit disrespected? Because everyone's talking about Benny Coates and you're actually the series leader. But you watch our last lap, he gets around Benny on that last lap, never to be seen again. Simpson deservedly wins the B grade race as the first B grader across the line. But what's interesting, and we use that word interesting a hell of a lot, but I think we'll have to think of a new one, is when they hit the sprint, Ben Dewhurst is actually further up in the bunch than Chris Simpson. He only gets, that's his first race in B grade. And on the last lap, he's in the top 10 of the wheels.
He was. It's not interesting. It's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
That was exhilarating racing.
Okay, so how did B grade go in your opinion? Well, you wouldn't have seen much.
I look again. I just think it's the hardest grade to win. I thought C grade rode really well. They were on it from the start. I mean, Vaughan McVillier, he can't be complaining because he was rolling turns in those opening laps. So he can't say, the pace was too high too early. He was up there. But look, I thought everyone, I thought Lily Fassan again rode a superb race.
Great race, Lily.
And certainly a rider who has just gone astronomical rise. But there was actually a rider from Inverell mountain biking, Shane Edmonds.
Yes, Shane.
He was on the Pinarello.
Yeah, he
had
came
some legs on him.
Yeah,
Oof.
he had a great race. So Shane's been down a few times this season. First season he's been, and he absolutely loves it. Actually, asked me after, where can I get the Tuesday night Heffron T-shirt? So maybe that's something we should get onto. Yeah, I thought he did a mountain of work, and also finished very, very strongly. His
the
first
other person,
race,
first
I was going
race,
to say his first race when he came to Heffron, just didn't quite get used to the circuit, but he's certainly mastered the circuit. And yeah, well done, Shane. So I don't know whether you're back next week, but if you are, it'll be great to see you back.
He rode very well. Luke Cromer as well, who got third over the line.
Yeah,
rode very well.
Yeah, Luke's the quiet achiever in C grade.
How do you think B grade went?
B grade were on fire, but once again, such a diverse range of interests. You could see how committed Centennial Park were. I think reasonably strong commitments from the likes of Robbie Allen and Rowley, and obviously Greg Rule. He was doing his fair share. So I thought they rode well. Most probably a good move from Centennial Park towards the end there, when the three riders try to get through C grade and get an advantage. But if you look at the finishing list, it's a good performance all round. I just wanted also to shout out to Centennial Park. Perhaps
CPACS
those guys,
Racing.
CPACS Racing, are the most consistent turner-uppers on a Tuesday night, if there's such a phrase, over the season. They have
and
been
even
there.
James Lamb. Even James Lamb turns up.
They're all
with
all
a broken wing. Yeah.
Actually, it's quite interesting when you see Richard White and James Lamb on the sidelines. Half the team are on the sick list. I don't know why Neil Percival wasn't racing on Tuesday night, but he's always another contributor. But shout out to Diego Canavero and all the guys from Centennial Park. And there's a nice photo I saw that Richard took that perhaps we could pop up that just recognises. I just want to recognise their commitment to the whole season. It's been fantastic.
Okay, my opinion on B grade. I know you both said, they obviously rode really well and there was a lot. Here's what I see as the problem. When there are breakaways in a handicap, and in B grade there were several breakaways during the race, that's a problem. In a proper if the B graders are riding flat out, it's impossible to break away. It shouldn't happen. That's problem, and that's where I think B grade are losing time.
Do you think that's people dropping the wheel on purpose?
No, what it is,
or is
it's
that
frustration. It's frustration.
Frustration from who? The rider letting them go?
Well, it's frustration because
5 or 6 of them attacking.
Everyone knows my theory. Only ever ride as strong as the 10th strongest rider in the group. But the stronger riders are getting frustrated that the 10th strongest riders not riding hard enough. And so they go harder, a little break forms, and then it becomes disjointed and they lose the momentum.
Okay, my theory is if the bunch is moving fast enough, there is no frustration.
Yeah,
you just go, we are going fast. This is awesome. And you don't even think breakaway. You don't even think getting away. No one lets a wheel go.
On that note, how are we looking on the series?
I just want to call out a couple of other good rides on Tuesday night. It's always nicer. Proctor Morris, Illawarra rider, rode very well in C grade.
He did, and finished strongly.
Yeah, that's right. Because I think we thought in C grade that we could win because we had Pongsak turning up in white bibs. So he was obviously channeling the Matthew van der Poel, Luke Platt style.
There's a UCI rule about white bibs. You've got to be effing good to wear it.
Well, Pongsak's going all right, mate.
You got to, if you turn up, you've got to do a lot of work and make people talk because
you've got to be able to deliver.
Yeah, you've got to be good.
Well, a lot of work. That one's questionable, but I'll leave it at that. But then if you look at B grade, Michael Bolt turned up and finished 9th. I don't think that was his first race.
Bolterini.
Bolterini. He's cool. He's got an amazing pedigree.
He's been a usual suspect for a long time. A grade, B grade. He's like ABBA. A, B, B, A.
He is.
Adam McCoy. Again.
Big Adam was back. He was doing his bit.
Finishes 10th. Top result. And then, but I thought as well, I mean, we discussed Rowley to get second, mate. He's wise, mate. He's slippery. He is slippery.
That was a good result for the CCCCC, the Colombian cartel. So well done, Rowley.
And I think we've pretty much, I think for me, before we move to the point score, was pretty much just everyone in A. You know, we've spoken about Bolton, Bennett, Eather, Martin, Cam Fraser again, 5th. Lucas Stevenson, Benny Coates even got himself into the top 10.
Yeah, Benny found it. Benny found it quite daunting. He was very keen.
So we should have.
Yeah, and that's right. Yeah, he started. Yeah, exactly. But he hung in there and he waited for it to calm down. And he told me after the race that once it had calmed down, he got he relaxed a lot more. And I said to him that I thought he looked better as the race went on, to the point that he was, feeling good enough to be competitive there at the end and sneak in the top 10. And the other youngster, Lucas Stevenson, also had another good race.
I think Benny rode well, but probably not well enough for Rider of the Week.
Oh, come on! You get to see him ride the grass in the.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do indeed.
Radio. Yeah,
so,
he's like, and look at that.
Yeah.
Look
Win
at that.
Score.
What do you reckon?
So,
I reckon it's
on
signed,
the post,
sealed, delivered.
Well, not entirely, because technically, Tom Bolton can equal Jack Bennett on points next week if he wins outright and Jack doesn't place.
So you want a flat tire with 2 or 3 to go.
It happened.
But man, let me just say,
it happened last year, didn't it?
It happened last year
with Bennett on the sideline, freaking out.
Freaking out.
That's right.
Yeah,
and
we don't want it. We don't want it. But it's plausible.
They've each won one race each. So if Tommy was to win and equal Jack on points next week and Jack was unplaced, Tommy would be on a countback, having won 2 wins. He'd be the series leader. Kurt, unfortunately, is out of it because he's 8 points behind. Can't see anything else happening in the overall. Maybe Cam and Ollie could pick up a couple of points there in the last race. Chris Simpson, congratulations, Chris, on being the 2024 Sydney City Skoda B grade winner.
So if Robbie Allen wins on Tuesday night, won't be enough points to get
3 points.
He's only 3 points.
So here's the deal. B grade signed, sealed, delivered. It's done. Jack has won the A grade jersey. The C grade jersey has been won by Ben. Nicolo's won the women's jersey. The only one that has any possible movement is the overall series.
That's correct.
But the way I see next week, it's just, Heffron Park, it's a little going down a scale. Below Heffron Park is this race called the Tour de France. The last day is on the Champs-Élysées. It is a procession for general classification. It is my belief that if Jack Bennett was to puncture, they'd respect the yellow jersey and work it out. Yeah,
they would.
It is the Champs-Élysées next week.
May I remind you, it wasn't that many years ago when Gary Milburn was up for overall against Naz, I think it was, and bought half his squad up from Melbourne. Remember
so
that?
are you thinking either Kurt Eather's going to bring the Australian track team on Tuesday night?
Kurt's out of it. Kurt can't win it. It's only Tommy Bolton.
So it's only Tommy Bolton. So I don't know, half of the entire Taka coffee squad or something's got to turn up.
I'll put it in even simpler terms. For Tom to win the series, it will take misfortune on Jack Bennett's behalf.
That's correct.
You've got to use the line, you need lightning to strike twice. For the like Tom Bolton.
Yeah. Oh, my Lord. Did you practice that in front of a mirror?
I had thought about it last week when he won. I was like, I can't believe I forgot to use the lightning strikes as he crosses the finishing line.
Done it now. Okay. So bang, and that's where I'm going with the Champs-Élysées next week. Look, this is the only time that the last round has, in my opinion, not counted to the jersey winners. This is the first time I've ever seen C grade, A grade, B grade and women already wrapped up and the series. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a heap of fun and it's going to be a great celebration and a shitload less stressful than normal.
Is that Bennett's 3 in a row?
No, keep going. I've got it. John, help me out. It's more. I think it's not in a row, by the way, because Scott Law won one. Scott Law won.
Okay, we'll let John hit the
John,
history.
you're
Well,
John,
you mean no?
John,
You're
you hit the
talking-
history books, and I'll just say, so we congratulate Nicole O of Sydney Uni Velo as our women's champion for 2024. We congratulate Ben Dewhurst of East Racing for C grade. B grade is Chris Simpson of CPAC Racing or Centennial Park Audi Centre Sydney
On your
racing
Benny
team.
Simpson.
Congratulations, Ben, on your B grade win. You know, Simpson, we'll remember that name.
No, you're right.
A grade is Jack Bennett. And of course, the overall series winner is Jack Bennett of ZCC. So congratulations, Jack.
Alexis, I think John wanted to say something. It was
Here
started
it
with
is.
you're right.
Jack is that's 5 out of 6.
Mm-hmm.
So
And Scott Law
is that?
won.
So Scott Law
yeah,
broke it up.
So Jack Bennett every year since 2019, except for 22, when Scott Law won it.
Which, of course, it would be remiss of us to not say congratulations, Scotty Law, on your engagement.
Absolutely, Scotty.
This week.
Yeah.
Glad you
But
didn't
more
get it.
importantly, John wanted to say you were right, Crafty. He wanted to say that. I heard him.
So we've announced the series winners and the grade winners for 2024. That only leaves perhaps, it's like the awarding of the jerseys, the Char Grill Charlie's Rider of the Week.
Rider of the Week.
So I think Paul gave away his vote.
Get rid of the point series because this is
right.
tantalising. This is like
Tantalising.
building them up because you don't know who I'm going to vote for, right? Oh, spoiler
you've come up with your suggestion.
Yeah. So
thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
There's no fooling you, John. Yes.
I'm
Man,
on it,
you're
yeah.
on it. You are on it. Okay, so Andrew Jacobs, right? Why? He had the smarts to go. The bunch. This is an opportunity. Let's go. He led it. He committed. He was sacrificing himself for, as John says, Tom Hyde and Ben Simpson, who were absolutely claiming it. It was an opportunist move, and it could have been a successful move. But it went further than that. When he caught the C graders, he launched into the C graders, and I lost sight of him in the video. I lost sight of him. I don't know I couldn't find where he got past, but there was a melee of attitudes, a melee of action. And look, the guy deserves my vote. But we've got 3 people on a panel. And John, who did you think?
You're throwing me because that's a good pick, Crafty.
Thank you. But who were you originally thinking of then?
I was originally thinking of someone in B grade.
Greg Raw?
Actually, Greg Raw.
Again, you want to go for him again? He won the other week.
No.
He wants a few more vouchers. You won the latest Sunnies.
I've already got those. I've got that covered. So I don't even have to put a vote in for him. No, I was thinking he was in B grade. As I said earlier, I was super impressed, or I have been the last few weeks, just how well and how much Rawley's been putting in B grade. And when I saw that video, and he led it into the straight, he had the entire Centennial Park squad on his wheel. So I'm going a little bit nostalgic here. Recognise 39 years of consistent racing every week. I mean, that's unbelievable. Next year it's going to be 40. He told me the other day
Is he married?
40. No.
Explains the 39 seasons availability.
Look, if you're riding that well, it's a dead indicator that you've been married and now you're not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
John,
on a
you're voting.
nostalgic basis, I am going B grade. I'm going to throw my hat behind Rawley this week.
He gets another vote. He got some votes last week. Look,
Can I tell you why? No, stop, Alexis. Can I tell you why you shouldn't vote for Greg Raw?
I'm not going to vote for him, but you tell me why.
Okay. John's rider of the week was the rider at the front of the bunch when the attack went. I'll say no more.
And also, he didn't finish.
He
well, he's out.
He was a DNF.
And I thought for a second. I thought for a second John was going to indicate Farnsworth as is that his name?
Ben Farnsworth.
Ben Farnsworth.
Farnsworth.
Hey, actually, he did well. He
He
did,
did,
well.
but he got in a breakaway mid race. No,
Yeah, no,
I don't
that
like
was-
that.
yeah, I know,
That's But he's from C grade to B grade, punching his weight. Well done, Alexis. Who'd you pick?
Okay, so if C grade would have won,
Yeah,
he was going to be Proctor Morris.
okay.
Good pick.
I thought he rode very well, along with obviously Shane Edmonds and Luke Cromer. And actually Adam Richardson as well from Rafa rode very well.
Yeah, another good ride.
And also amazing to see Radek Valenta back racing after so many years off the bike.
Yeah.
But they're not our riders of the week.
Okay.
I didn't mind Marty Caper's last lap attack. It wasn't successful.
Yeah,
I'm going to
that's
throw
pretty impressive. Yeah.
impressive. My rider of the week is actually the C grade champion, Ben Dewhurst. First
Okay.
race in
Hey.
B grade, and he finished 4th. I don't know where he finished over the line, but he did to be right up there at the sprint, right at the end. That for me was that was the rider of the week, which of course doesn't really help us because it
does.
splits us. I can tell you where Ben Dewhurst finished. He finished 13th overall.
Yeah.
So
He was 4th B grader.
4th B grade in his first attempt at B grade.
That's right. Not bad, is it?
And in the pointy end, I really felt Martin Caper did an amazing ride. And if John is right, and I do believe you, John, that was him on the attack, he did an amazing ride. So who's going to pick it?
Well, I, though, will agree with you, Paul, Andrew Jacobs. From
okay.
Only because that
Well done,
ride,
Andrew.
at that point of the race, to do that long on the front, and it was obviously working for Chris Simpson.
Chicken burgers coming your way.
Absolutely.
Rider of the week, it was always teammate of the week as well, because he knew he couldn't roll off the front. He had to close that gap, get through it, and with as much good. Took him a whole lap. He didn't flick the elbow once because he knew Chris is on his wheel. That'd blow up Chris.
Yeah, well done.
So Tommy Hyde did something similar the other week. So those guys, I don't know what's in there. Whatever the free coffees they're giving out, it's working at that bunch.
So, mate, first B grader, reinforce you are the fastest in B.
Just lucky on the night, I think. So I think your podcast wound me up too much, so I think I had to prove something tonight.
You must have something to say for your teammates who are all here today. They rode pretty well.
Unbelievably every week. So I think we're building some really good momentum and just hopefully keep it going. So
well done, congratulations. I think that wraps up the series.
Okay, good. That's what we want. So.
And Alexis, look, we're giving the Char-Grilled Charlie Chicken Rider of the Week to someone who didn't ride for themselves.
Didn't ride for themselves?
Yes.
Didn't foolishly attack off the front without having hope?
They did it. The Rider of the Week did it to aid somebody else. And I think that's a little bit special. You know,
it is.
We expect, I know Martin.
No self-interest.
Martin and Ben Dewhurst both did an amazing ride, but they did an amazing ride for themselves. This is great. I like it. So congratulations, Andrew Jacobs.
Andrew Jacobs,
well done, Andrew.
Char-Grilled Rider of the Week.
Whoop.
And with that, we ring the bell for the last lap. And
he's there! Ollie Penny, there's Bill Lucas, there's the rider of the opposite there, the Polo's there, crack, gone, busted, broken!
Any other issues besides, or items you'd like to raise besides 1 week to go? Final week of racing, entries must be open.
Yeah, entries are certainly open on Buncher. And of course, praying for nice weather. And I think the weather forecast is looking for a clear night because it is a great night.
It's 50-50 though. Like most years, we end up. It's like, is it going to be on? It's so close, and the light is diminishing. And Richard Scrivens will complain no end about the light. Let's get this presentation on quickly. Stuff like that.
Well, the good thing about the presentation is we know who's going to be in the presentation, so we don't have to be calculating the last round points. But it is a great night, the season finale. So come down and participate. Chicken burgers on Eastern Suburb Cycling Club, and most probably a few beers. hopefully there'll be a few beers on them as well. And it'll be great to see everybody to round out what's been a shorter season in a number of races, but a great season.
And I think adding to that would be, there's also often the big group photo at the end. So please don't finish the race.
That is the best
and jump
part,
straight on
is
the
the
bike.
group photo, is be there for the group photo.
Yeah.
Because that group photo sits on the Facebook page for 6 months.
Yeah.
You'll always go back and revisit it.
And the thing is, with Richard Scriven, just tell him, look, I know you're already holding a GoPro, a camera, numerous batteries. Just hold a light as well, mate. Just
just
become an octopus. Just
work
work
a bit harder, Richard. You're like, come on, stop slacking.
Exactly.
Yeah. What are we going to say?
See you next Tuesday.
See you next
Tuesday.
Tuesday.